You're watching NASCAR Tube. And now, your host, Evan Jones.
What is going on, you guys? It's NASCAR EJ coming to you once again from the NASCAR Tube. After a week that I missed, man, I got some explaining to do there. Actually, it was just good old 4th of July weekend coming up. I was super busy getting things ready for that this upcoming past weekend. So, had a great time. I hope everybody's 4th was great. Glad to see some interesting racing going on. We got back to Daytona. Really good. It was a good race once we finally got it in. This has actually been recorded on Monday, so it's actually it's still a little shocked over the wreck that happened this morning or Monday morning at the finish of the race. But let's go back to Sonoma that I did not get to last week. And basically, we all know Kyle Busch won this race. And I'm telling you right now, and if you go back and listen to some of my other videos, well, probably the previous one before this one, Kyle Busch was not one that I was picking to win this race because I thought it would have been more physical, more demanding for him to go out on that track, that racetrack, and race, because that is a hard. You're turning right, you're turning left, you're on the brake, you're shifting gears all the time. And with his legs being hurt, I didn't think he would be able to shift as well. I figured Daytona or somebody somewhere else that he could just stay on his feet wouldn't have to move a lot. Figured he would do better, but man, more power to the guy. He actually went out there and did a very good job and actually come out with the win. And I think that just shows determination. And I know we can tell he's very determined to win this race. If you haven't noticed, you can look. I always get that wrong. I need to learn how to point. You look right up here, the Toyota Save Mart 350 logo. Look up there, click that, and it will take you to the highlights of that race straight from NASCAR. So go ahead and click that if you haven't, and check that out. So in the meantime, we'll continue. But Kyle Busch did get the win, and it was the first time in a long time that two brothers finished. It's the first time in history the two Busch brothers finished 1 and 2, first and second place, and that is awesome to see that happen. Now, you just don't really think about it. I would have thought they would have done it a long time ago, but I had never thought they would have finished 1 and 2. And if you see Kurt, how he's acting lately, that is a very... I think they're closer. I don't know. I think they see it closer, and I don't know if the baby from Kyle Brexton is his name. I don't know if Kyle and Samantha's baby has played a part in that. This, Kurt's an uncle now. I guess you could say Kurt's a big uncle. So I don't know if that had to do anything with it. I think Kyle's attitude's changing a lot about things. I don't know if they've talked or whatever, but those guys are close now. And you go back to Michigan, and Kyle hit the wall. Kurt was really concerned, saying he hit hard. He hit really hard, and that's what Kurt. I was quoting Kurt there, but that just, I don't know. I'm seeing the relationship of those guys coming back together real well, and I think that's great for the sport. I think it's great. I mean, kind of like the Allison brothers, Davey and Donnie. Well, whoever it was, but yeah, it just kind of the same grouping there. It works so well. But glad to see Kyle get back to victory lane. I was not expecting it at Sonoma. Was not expecting it at Sonoma at all. Maybe more at Watkins Glen if I had to say a road course. But wow, I would never thought it was a Sonoma, because that track is a hard, physical, demanding track, and especially after a guy like that had problems at Daytona back in February. And I mean, we're not even 4 months. We're just 4 months past that, and he's overcome problems with both of his legs. Going on to Daytona, Well, actually, let me talk about that wreck in Sonoma as well. Martin Truex Jr. and David Reagan get into a little accident. Carl Edwards gets in an accident with David Reagan a little later, but Carl took full blame for that. And him and David are all cool. I mean, that was just a Carl. It really didn't. I wouldn't per se it was actually Carl's fault. He did take the blame for it, but it was just one of the Sonoma accidents. You know, it just happens. Carl hit the curb and kind of bumped into him and it spun him out. But I guess if somebody had to blame themselves, I guess Carl would have the right to. I mean, he did cause the wreck per se, but it's just one of those Sonoma things. I mean, those tracks are really. I don't think they're really designed to have big bricks flying around the track. I mean, they're designed for smaller cars, and which they work with stock cars. But I think it's one of those things that Sonoma can use good. But the accident with Martin Truex Jr. and David Reagan was when they're coming out of turn 7, which is the turn the really sharp turn that goes into the S's down the hill. David Reagan was actually on Martin Truex Jr.'s left side, and coming out of that corner, it's kind of sharp coming out of there, and Martin Truex Jr. pushed him off the track. Well, David looked like he retaliated. I don't know if he was just in a bad spot, but it sounded like to me in his post-race interview he actually retaliated. But there's a little tension between those guys right now, and one guy said, David Reagan said he ran me off the track, and Martin Truex Jr. says, well, he should have just been behind me, not going beside me in that corner anyway. But either way, we don't know what to expect in that, but it did look like to me, and I will pick a side on this, and I will say that Martin Truex Jr. did look like he was pushing him off the track, and I like Martin to death, but I have to go with David on that. It looked like he was coming off, but again, it's a Sonoma thing. It's something to do with that track, and Sonoma gives off those problems sometimes. Going on to Daytona for the Coke 0400 last night, or Sunday night for y'all. Or into Monday morning per se. Monday morning, we actually started the race here at about 10:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So it's almost midnight by the time the race started over there. So, but that's unusual. But I knew from the start it was going to be a crazy race. I knew from the start it was going to be a wreck field. Didn't think there'd be many green flag runs, but actually there was, which was a wreck on lap 4. So, I mean, I tweeted on the NASCAR Tube channel, I said, that didn't take long, and it didn't. It didn't. I knew it was going to, them guys are going to be anxious to get back on that track and just go racing. They haven't been racing all day, and I knew then it was going to be a wild race. Ended up Kyle Busch. Daytona is turning out to be his Kansas, I think, and that's unfortunate because Kyle Busch deserves better than that after what he's gone through and after what he's accomplished from the week before winning at Sonoma. Excuse me, I'm yawning, but from the week before winning at Sonoma, and then he goes to Daytona and has a terrible night, and he gets into the wall within the first 30 laps, and I just sat there and I was just floored. I thought, oh, you're kidding me, right? And also, when you look at Kyle Busch's situation, is that yes, he's got to win, but no, he's not in the chase. And I actually made a mistake on that. If you saw my tweet within about the 10 minutes that I noticed, I said, guess what, buddy, you're in the chase. Well, I was wrong. I got pointed out on that quickly, saying, no way, he's not in the chase. Although he's got to win, he's got to be. And NASCAR put the waiver on him, but they also told him, and by the rule book it says, you have to be, although you have a win, but you have to be in the top 30 in points to get into the chase, no matter what. So you got to be in the top 30 in points, and with only 9 races to go before the chase starts, he ain't got much time to get in the top 30 in points. If he gets another win, I think he'll be set, definitely. But at this point, he's got to finish 14th or better. Or that's actually what it was since before Daytona this week. But he's got to have an average finish of 14th or better. And that's going to be tough. That's actually going to be tough because you look at the tracks coming up, and we got Kentucky next week, and that's going to be a good track, but a whole new rules package, so we don't know how that's going to be. And this rule package is almost like a super speedway package, a restrictor plate package. So we don't know how that's going to add. We don't know how that's going to play into his arms. I'm sure he's really not happy about that because he knows how to drive in Kentucky. He's won there a couple times in the Cup Series, which we've only been there, 5 times? So that, and then the fact that just so many other issues, and you got Watkins Glen coming up, you got Richmond coming up, you got Darlington coming up, and actually they're actually thinking about running the same rules package that they're running in Kentucky this week at Darlington. That's not confirmed, but NASCAR is thinking about that, and I think that really depends on what we see this week at Kentucky. But at Daytona, Kyle Busch just did not have a good night, and that's a shame, and that may have bumped that average finish up. Don't hold it against me yet, but 14th or better average finish, that's average. That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough for him to get that, and I think he can do it. I think he's determined enough to do it, or he's just going to say, forget it. We got next year. We'll just finish out this season, get some experience in this for the team, and we'll just go start next year. It's Kyle Busch. He ain't going to do that. He's going to go for a win. He's going to go for a win. That's just the way he is. But Dale Earnhardt Jr. actually got the pole, and he finished first. So he actually got the pole and won the race. Hendrick cars at Daytona, I don't know what it was. It was actually, they were on top the whole night. Dale Earnhardt Jr. led many laps. Jimmy Johnson led a lot of laps. Jeff Gordon really kind of sat back there in third all night. I don't know. Jeff Gordon, I'm kind of getting, if we had levels of what we're thinking, okay, or concerned, or panic, I'm beginning to slide from the concern down to the panic on Jeff Gordon. That's not looking good, and he's only got 9 races to get a win to get into the chase. And this is his last season, and I know we all want to see Jeff Gordon, and I'm yelling again, guys, and we all want to see Jeff Gordon finish well. And we all want to see him do well in his last full season. So the fact of that Jeff Gordon can actually get a win, and I'm hoping he can. And I'm looking at Indianapolis. I'm looking at Indianapolis for him to get that win, and or any other place. Trust me, he needs a win. Period. And excuse me. So, but it's just so many issues right now with Jeff Gordon, and I know he really needs to get a win. He needs to get a win, and that's just, you can't make it into the chase, and you can make it into the chase in points, but I don't know if Jeff Gordon's going to be able to do that because he's just had an up and down weeks, up and down. He's not consistent, and I'm getting concerned about that. But Dale Earnhardt Jr. did win the race in Monday morning at Daytona. Kind of the back seat. He took the back seat for the wreck, but the wreck was just, if you haven't seen the wreck, scary stuff. And you can see it over my shoulder right now. And that wreck was not. I mean, Austin Dillon goes straight up into that catch fence, and the fact that the most scary part to me was when Keselowski came down and hit him. The roof is the most vulnerable part of those cars. And, on the side of the cars, on the side panels, they're all meshed in. They have meshing foam. They're all built very strong. But on the roof, it's just sheet metal and a steel bar going across. So I just feel that he was on his roof, and Brad Keselowski come down and hit him, and that's what really scared me more than anything. Actually, I did not see the race live. I was actually in bed by that time because it was about 2:30 in the morning. So it was just one of those things to where it just, when I got up this morning, I just realized it was like, whoa, the wreck. There was a wreck, but Austin Dillon, basically it was caused by Denny Hamlin spinning out after the finish, and he spins out, and basically Austin Dillon used the front of his car as a ramp that put him in the air, and he flew over like 3 or 4 cars and went into the catch fence. And the biggest thing is he's going like 185 miles per hour, 190 miles per hour, and that car goes through that fence, makes that car go to a dead stop, like immediately. So that was one of the biggest concerns for me. But congrats to Kyle Busch for winning the Toyota Save Mart 350 at Sonoma Raceway, and for Dale Jr. winning the Coca-Cola 0400. He's won 2 restrictor plates two restrictor plate races this year, and at both restrictor plate races. So I believe it's an accomplishment, but I'm not seeing that great of performance on the other tracks. And also, my hat goes off to NBC for their coverage on the race last night or Sunday night, and that was really good job, guys. Really good job. I was impressed with NBC. I was impressed, but glad to see. I'm excited for the rest of the season, and hopefully I won't miss a week again. But don't forget to like this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Share the video. Favorite this, and as always, y'all have a nice day.